How's it going, ladies and gents? It's me, DRBC007, and today I'm diving as far into The Last of Us Part 2 as I possibly can without spoiling it. And I'm going to throw this out there right now. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Not all of it, but much like a first date, there were moments which you love, moments where your stomach turns in knots, and moments where you feel like you're going to be sick. This is no review. This is just a boy standing in front of two sexy post-apocalyptic zombie-slaying hard-as-brass girls, asking them to love him. If you like my videos on me, make sure you enter into your nearest place of worship and spank each parishioner on the buttocks while screaming my name in tongues, much like this. As it really helps people know who I am. But if you can't do that, share this video, subscribe, comment, and like down below. Look, like this mural in the opening says, I just want to feel her love. Ellie, Dina, dare I say it, Abby. I won't spoil things, but any person that doesn't admit that they'd be more than a little titillated and turned on by Abby dominating them in the bedroom is a beta male and not worthy of my time. I'm on a mission, full of revenge and rain, incredible graphics, voice acting, and intrigue. As I'm not going to ruin the story in any way, well, I think that in the way that I tell it, as you will see, it's rather impossible, just enjoy my version of events. You see, Ellie and Dina, her spicy lover, have decided to record a special video that two consenting adults often do when in love, or after consuming far too much alcohol and mind-altering substances while on the piss in Ibiza 6 years ago that has haunted me ever since. You know, that kind of video. And what better place to look for film equipment than a destroyed TV station? Look, I'll say it. I recorded an incredibly liberating and immensely erotic story of love. My co-star may have been 45 years my senior and closely resembled Big Ed, but the things she could do with a pair of marigolds and a dishcloth would make your eyes pop. Angrily, I pout and stare out over the ruined city of Seattle as our confidant, Rick, is lying dead on the entrance. All he had to do was open the bloody door. Like everything in the zombie wasteland, this is not going to be easy. We make our way inside and my never-ending lust for objects and junk continues, but with pockets already heavy, we look for a route into the heart of the beast. I scamper up into and over a broken vent and into the newsroom. However, the discovery of a number of meaty human piñatas doesn't really get me in the mood. Who am I kidding? I've always liked an audience. We move in and admire some locals' blood artwork on the wall. It doesn't offend me in any way, as I once met a lady who painted pictures of her cats with her own menstrual stream. Now some might say that's fucking disgusting, and others would applaud it. Art is art. I pocket some parts and we continue our search. We make our way to the second floor and I decide to cross over a precarious walkway. But when halfway across and for no good reason at all, I decide to moonwalk backwards. We continue our search and we stumble upon poor old Sandra. I bet Sandy didn't expect that kind of penetration when she joined the all-male cast of Love Island Zombie Edition. I continue looking through her stuff, which is actually pretty rude, with Sandra just lying there. But I find a couple of cheeky Polaroid nudes. Unfortunately for us, they're about as appetizing as Trisha Paytas' OnlyFans, and after throwing up a little in my mouth, we move on. Continuing our search for that camera, we unfortunately find Sandra's friends from the WLF, and I can only surmise that they have come for those nudes. I mean, what Sandra was doing, it's pretty damning stuff. I could sneak past them, or I could kill them all. And I mean, who am I kidding? There's only one correct answer here. I shoot the first in the back of the head with my plastic bottle silenced pistol and duck back into the shadows. In this game, stealth is your best friend and the element of surprise is your deadliest weapon. Luckily for me, this NPC is also a little hard of sight and doesn't see me at all. For this, I splice his throat open and let him bleed out. The gruesome nature of fights and killing in The Last of Us is spectacular. I mean, it's gritty and up close and visceral. Despite what you think about the story, this game is a bloody marvel, even with the often laughable AI. I cut down another fool that's dared to fight me with my trusted axe, and despite my desperate yearning for blood, Dina convinces me it's time to go. I go to grab one last supply, but we're ambushed, and I am forced to kill yet again. I whip out my trusted revolver, and with the steady hands of a Taiwanese manicurist, I gun them down in a spray of crimson delight. You'll pay now! With blood! I shoot this poor codger in his head because I don't want him to have to deal with the stress of seeing all of his friends dead like that. I am a considerate kind, really. Dina and I get caught in a firefight as we try to leave, and with the dwindling supply of ammunition and an incredible urge to pee without an audience, we make a run for it. I dive into the gutter and into a collapsed road system, but unfortunately for us outside we are pursued even harder by the WLF and must abandon our search for the camera, sex swing and baby oil. I didn't mention those parts, did I? Our pornography session will have to wait. We duck into a darkened corridor and barricade the doorway with a soft drink dispenser, and with my heart beating furiously we descend into the darkness below. We squeeze into a dark, tight hole and hear the unsettling sound of a clicker. Again, just listen to the audio. It's sublime work, shivers down the spine. We push through and find another band of WLF. I mean, those nudes were terrible. Why do they want them so bad? With our path blocked, I decide to embrace the 80s brothel mood lighting and rally the troops, the zombies. In this game, they are more sensitive to sound than my stomach is to dodgy enchiladas, but apparently the audible excretions from the soldiers speaking and moving does nothing to alert them. What it takes is a brick connecting with a tile, and then they go apeshit crazy. The infected swarm the soldiers, and Dina and I hunker back to wait and see who's left before we venture further into the unsettling station. Inevitably, the clickers win, and we sneak past them into one of the side rooms in the never-ending search for supplies, but this little face-sucking shabaroon sneaks up on me. Closely resembling the underside of a rhino's foot or a wart-nobbled chode, I decide the best way forward is to hit it head-on. Using my machete, I swing into the mangled flesh and strike again, but the commotion has brought more of the infected like hobos to a dropped sandwich, and they surge forward. In the dark, I take aim and quickly down the first, but more are on their way. I switch to my rifle and decide to try to end this quickly, because I'm getting the heebie-jeebies in this dark and cold underground tomb. Finally, a rogue last WLF soldier appears, and I take aim before putting him down for the count. We head further down into the train, but behind us there is a commotion, and again we are forced to run. I grip the door with my cold, wet hands, but need Dina to slip her fingers in there and pry it open. Together we struggle against its rusty hinges, but luckily we jump through and get the door shut just before a cheeky little Margaret Thatcher impersonating clicker slams into the other side. I know we are sexy bitches, but this relentless pursuit of our delicious bodies is getting a little tiresome. Look, we're knee-deep in the apocalypse, but buy a girl a drink before you expect to eat her out. I mean, ravage her. I mean, no, none of that stuff. I mean, just buy oh God. With the eyesight of a jaguar prowling the rainforests of the Amazonian basin, I spot a collector's card in the pitch-black rubble. Despite our perilous predicament, there's still time to collect cards. And lucky for us, this little imp is fit. I mean, look at this saucy strumpet. I'll admire her later in my private rooms. Unperturbed by our next gruesome discovery, and with no other option but to push on, we make our way back into the ceilings above and into the air vents. We drop down into another world of pain and infected, this time with a fat bloater that pukes out noxious gases if you get too close or try to hurt it. I take down the first with a number of machete slices and realize that Dina does basically nothing. I mean, absolute dead weight. Gorgeous in that spicy come hither end of the world, not many of us left, take it or leave it, possibly Latina lesbian sass kind of way, but dead weight. I mean, come on, love. I'm slicing and dicing over here like I'm bloody Salt Bay on roids. It's then that I notice Roseanne Barr lumber towards us, just as terrible as ever and just as toxic.
I thought the bitch was white! God damn it!
Oh no, sorry, that's not Roseanne, but the resemblance is uncanny. The ambush continues as the cast from The Hills Have Eyes, led by their leader, continue to try to kill us. Roseanne's back, and she's pissed. Oh, sorry, I keep getting them confused. One's a gnarled, hideous monster that wants to kill you, and the other is an infected zombie. Finally, light at the end of this bloody and infected tunnel, and being the chivalrous and brave Xena warrior princess I am, I go forward with Dina close behind. But as fate is so often a cruel mistress, the carriage collapses and we are thrown scrambling to the ground below. Unfortunately, I've damaged my mask, and Dina is gonna be pissed. I roll over just in time to see Armando sprint towards me. I don't know how he found us, but obviously still pissed about how we ended things. His love lust burning within, he can't stop himself and thinks lathering my sweet body with kisses is the way to go. Dina finally steps up to the plate, but goes a little OTT in my opinion, and she shoots him dead. But I gotta be honest, that kind of jealousy is hot. Before I'm able to explain about poor old Armando, we are yet again forced to run, as Roseanne is back for round 3. 3 and she's brought friends. Oh, sorry, no, not Roseanne. Infected, not Roseanne. Roseanne is just disgusting, but she's not infected. Yes, infected. Okay. We charge up the escalator and almost bump into more of the crazed mouth munchers and must dodge to the left, but one cheeky chappie grabs my foot and drags me to the floor. Oh, it's bloody Steve! Look, I told you it's over. Jesus, Dina! I think you need some help. That's 2 in 2 minutes. This game is just great, isn't it? Such suspense, such romance, such jealous rage. We hop a fence and I make the mistake of looking behind us only to see the terrifying sight of Brian. How many X's has Ellie got? What an absolute cock tease. We continue our mad dash through the darkness and I can almost taste freedom. I dodge past another crazy zombie bastard and into the turnstile behind Dina before I'm grabbed one last time by another clicker. Dina, true to form, pops that bitch in the head, and the body blocks the turnstile in its tracks. I turn to my lover, who's collapsed to the ground, and valiantly lift her to her feet and escort her from the station and into the rain and towards a theatre. I mean, all of that for a bloody camera. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, let's be frank, absolutely bizarre and ridiculous tale. If you did, let me know down below what your favourite part was, and if you liked or loathed the game, hit me up in the comments section too. A like would be appreciated as always, but for now let me leave you with Miss Ellie Conway Twitty. I'm DRBC007 signing off.
Nice to see you. It's been a